So I'm assuming we're streaming now. We are streaming now. Hello, everybody, and why don't you go into the OBS channel there? You have no idea what we've been going through technology-wise. Say hi, Barbie.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead and go back into the other mode, please, so I can see what people are on. And okay. I'm going to talk a little bit right now while she gets set up here. No, we're not. We're actually not going live. Now there we are. So if we look, got a couple viewers on here, and we're expecting. I want to see the other. Screen too. So could you make that one smaller and make this one bigger? You're not going to be able to see the text that way. But why don't you go ahead and I think we're ready to go now. I'm sorry about the chaotic opening here. This is our first show, and hopefully we've got a show coming that is going to be exciting and fulfilling for the people coming to this channel. I just want to. There's been a number of questions about this channel as far as what we're wanting to achieve and what we're wanting to do here.
And just so you know, I want to give a shout out to our first our first viewer we have on the channel.
Woo! All right, that's fantastic. So as Barbie was saying, we have a very small little thing here, and that's quite obvious. We have a couple more viewers coming on, and so hopefully we'll have the opportunity to grow this as time goes on. The reason I say that is because there's a lot of message that's going to need to go into here, in that what we're doing is we want to talk about everybody's future. Barbie and I want to cover the topics that the great American middle class has interest in or concerns about. Our objective is to place that middle class into a more powerful position. Because let's face it, when the middle class is healthy, America is strong. When the middle class is strong, America is healthy. They're intertwined. We really need to not only come together, but like Barbie said a few different times, do research and see what it is that the politicians and we're going to talk about finance. We're going to talk about entertainment. We're going to talk about health hacks. We're going to have people on who are experts in their field for these different things. And while we will be getting into fairly regularly politics, we want you to know that politics is something that we don't lean right or we may lean right or lean left, but the politics that we want to talk about is having our politicians under control. Because as I said earlier, the great middle class, when it's powerful, when it's strong, when it's healthy, then America's healthy. There is a lot of things that we are going to talk about and want to talk about. Please enter. I see there's almost a couple hundred viewers here now, and some of the topics that you'll want to talk about, I'd love to see them and ask questions and give input in the chat. Someday we may have a phone system or something. Hopefully, if this channel supports itself and grows. The one thing that we're going to harp on, and we talked a little bit about politics, we're going to talk about finance, we're going to talk about health, we're going to talk about AI, but we're also going to try and bring the middle class together. Right now we're all in boxes in different interests, different religions, in our different socio backgrounds. Hey, Joy, how you doing? Good to see you. Give a shout out there to you. And so since COVID, the entire nation has been even more dramatically split apart. It's dropping us into our little buckets, and we've continued to stay that way. Hey, Barbie, if there's any interesting comments, instead of looking at the thing, can you just shout something out to me that if somebody has a question or wants to say hi? I see you're typing vigorously over there on the computer screen. What are some of the things being said?
Yeah, we're just getting some hellos. Just generic. It's our first live streaming here, and just so everyone knows, we welcome your feedback. We welcome your questions. This show is new, and we're just putting this together just to have open dialect for people of like-minded or even different interests to brainstorm, to come together.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Beatles said, "Come together." Anyway, our founding fathers. Let's get right down to it. Our founding fathers put us in charge, meaning the American people, right? They gave the power to the people. And by the way, today's Constitution Day, Barbie. We just happen to be talking about this show on Constitution Day. I don't know how.
For those of us that maybe want a better definition of Constitution Day.
Well, it's like
it's
like, well, I'm not an expert on what Constitution Day what you're supposed to do during Constitution Day, but Constitution Day is like all the other individual celebrations that we have. You know, the President's Day, Founders Day, Asian Americans Day. You know, all the different days that we have are going into. Be sure and say hi to Patrick there. The Constitution, it's just a day that we're there to celebrate, because our founding fathers, they put us in charge, and we're not a democracy, we're a democratic republic, right? So what needs to happen is we need to be able to put people in charge in our leadership roles that do the bidding that a democratic republic is designed to do. So in other words, a senator is put in power to do the best job and the most good for the people in his or her state, representatives in his or her region, and then of course the president is the country, right?
Yeah, and also too, Patrick, our viewer here, he's very excited that you're actually talking about middle class issues, because middle class have really been undervalued as far as the importance of what we bring to our country. So this is a huge issue.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like we were talking about before. Wow, we're getting a lot of viewers coming on. Hi, everybody. We're up into the 400s plus. So I wanted to just expand on that what Patrick was saying there on the middle class. The middle class is the most important part of our country. I'm biased, so is probably everybody else here, but the middle class is the most important because the founding fathers put a system in place that if we agree and we want something to happen, that there's checks and balances, but if we agree, we can push for items forward that are important to us. In other words, we can elect and re-elect or unelect, so to speak, a representative that isn't doing the bidding for us. But you've all heard the expression divide and conquer, right? Excuse me, let me take a little drink here. Divide and conquer. So that's what the middle class is subject to. I mean, if you think about it, governments were started millennia ago, literally 3000 BCE were the first couple of governments. So they've got a long time. The kings and the officials of government have had a long time to create a system that benefits them first. And back then we were called peasants, but the middle class second, if at all, to be honest with you. I'm not picking on one side of the aisle or the other, but what I am saying is, as Patrick mentioned earlier, the middle class is not only been dumped on and forgotten and left behind, but the middle class has constantly been used and abused by both sides of the political parties. And the reason they can do that is because we go into voting booths and we vote with an empty head, or maybe not a completely educated head in those elections. Now, understand there's an election coming up soon, and that's important, absolutely.
And that's where the middle class comes in, because we have so much power through our connection, through our voice, through our words, through our knowledge, that us as our middle class, we're not using. We're nowhere near where we should be as the middle class. We have been bestowed a tremendous amount of power for our government to guide it in the direction that serves our people. And we are not utilizing or using that power. So by bringing education, creating a talking platform like this, we bring people together to instill in them the power that we truly have, because it's been lost and forgotten with all the rhetoric that's been going on in our public system.
Oh man, what a great point. You should have opened the show, Barbie, because you said what the show's about better than I did.
Well, it's true.
It is true.
It is so true. We have more power, people, than what we give ourselves credit for. And this is where it's time for us to come together and step into our power, step into the knowledge. And even if we don't have the knowledge, just the desire that we know that there's something better out there and that there's so much more we can do. We might not know exactly what the answers are or what it is that we can do, but by coming together, feeding off of each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and creating this platform and creating ideas helps propel us and move us forward into a better future.
Absolutely. Great way to put it. And the reason that we're now really starting to press on this is because as AI comes along, the world's going to move 100,000 times faster. And thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Great comments there. The AI that's coming is, I don't know if any of you probably have, since you're here, seen some of the videos that we've done in the past, what we like to call our I'm sitting here reading text and I totally lost my train of thought there. But we really want to be able to have these conversations and be able to get a handle on our leadership roles out there, because with AI coming, just think about it. Barbie, when the internet came on, there were things that changed so dramatically. I can remember where you had to send a bill by the mail. And all of this is now done digitally. Can you imagine how much faster the world's going to move? And if we don't have our government officials under control, imagine how much faster and more difficult the world's going to be, especially for aging Americans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I was hoping to get a big kick out of that one. You've been saying some really good stuff, Barbie.
Well, you know, just with the times that we're in right now.
Crazy times.
Exactly. I'm just more focused with our middle class right now on taking back our power and creating our future for not only us, our generation, but our children's generation and
Yeah.
our children's children. Because if we don't do it now, we don't know.
Hey, look, we're on a trajectory right now to, and we've talked about this before. We're a democratic republic, the most powerful, if not one of, certainly, the most powerful nations in the world and in history. But if we don't get a handle on this stuff, and we don't put that invested time in, then we lose, our democratic republic. You can either choose socialism or communism. Sorry, but that's the directions we're headed. And with things like the AI coming, we need to be able to, as Barbie said, do your research. We need to be able to look up and see what really people have to say, what their positions are, what their points are. I call my dream for this to turn into like a watch party. You've heard me say that, right, Barbie?
A watch party, and we all have to do our part.
Yep.
And I think where it starts is number one, everybody, we all need to get out there and vote. Whether it makes a difference or not, these are baby steps, because a lot of us sit on the sidelines and we just kind of watch how the election's going, which way, and we don't take part of it. So first way of taking our power back is getting out there to vote people, whichever way. We're not leaning right, we're not leaning left, we're leaning in the middle here.
In the middle and for the people.
For each side.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Like Barbie said, we're we all have political leanings, and that's good. That's the system. We don't want a one-party system. We want a system that competes, and they say they do now. They're acting like they're competing for our votes and our appreciation of what their ideas are and what their programs are going to then become. What is reality is happening is they're actually just we're making those decisions off of commercials, and off of one news source or another news source. And I know one thing you've harped on a whole bunch, Barbie, is the need, the absolute demand. Wow, we're at 500 and some viewers.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate this. This means a lot. We've put a lot of time in the last 5 months putting this together. It actually started with with writing a book, and we'll talk about all that stuff later. But
the support shows that there's definitely an interest and a concern. Everyone, thank you for coming here and expressing that we are on the right track here.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, the founding fathers, they put us in charge, and at the end of that road is a utopia. I think we've talked about it before. I know we've talked about it before, but and that sounds very great and exciting and all that, but it's a real thing. And the reason I say that is because when the great middle class comes together and builds the strength that it carries, instead of being divided and boxed out, we will make the decisions through our leaders. We hire leaders to go do the work for us, but because they have programs that work and they have systems that work, but they're not working for us right now. They're working for their own utopian world. And what I'm saying is...
And that's where this program comes into play, because a lot of people don't understand that these politicians are working for us. We work, we pay our taxes. They're supposed to be looking out for our best interest, not their own.
Exactly. And what was it, 5 trillion a year or 15 trillion? I forget what the annual budget
Yeah, 5 trillion.
for 5 trillion a year. And, obviously in the 60s it wasn't trillion, but it's relatable money. They spend that money on the things that sometimes we vote on, but basically they're in charge. They're spending your money. They're spending my money. They're spending each of our monies, and because it's one individual or only a couple of people, then only the screamers get heard, the extremists who are the extremists each way. And none of that's good. That's not what we're here for. We're here to grow build our families, create our dream, and work towards this utopia I keep referring to. At some point, through AI and beyond, there is going to be people aren't going to have to work anymore. I mean, the cost of goods and the cost of services is going to go down to next to nothing. And at that point, and it could be as early as 20 years, it could be even less than that. Like I said before, the world's moving fast, man. It's moving. And for aging Americans and our families, like Barbie said, our children and our grandchildren, we want a world that's going to be around, which means we have to be part of that. We have to be making the decisions on who we want to facilitate that. And I'm talking about AI here, because if you have a utopian world coming up, and believe me, people see it. If I see it, I've read it somewhere. The Jetsons are coming, and if we understand that, imagine how people in charge, the 1%, the elites, the politicians, right, the companies, they are certainly going out of way to be able to make the most for themselves, for the elites, right? We need to come together, build power, build momentum, and vote people in and out of office as we desire. And when I say we desire, I mean as a group of people. That there may be people that don't agree on a particular direction or way to handle something, but if we're going through and understanding the importance of the people that are making decisions for us, if we really, really understand that importance, then it's quite obvious and quite evident to see that we are headed in a place we don't want to be headed. I mean, and without control. If we're losing our rights now, imagine how horrific and difficult that will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and more.
Yeah.
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 Let me take a drink. And what anything exciting out there that anybody wanted to say? I see a bunch of very excited. First live show. It's about time we're talking about the middle class, right?
If anybody has any questions, or if not, but we would love to hear on maybe some of your concerns or what you're feeling out in there, out in the world. What's some of the sentiment that you're feeling? What's going on?
Here's the benefit. Politics is just another thing you got to spend time on. We all have busy lives, right? We all do the work. We all do the work, carry on our back the production of these United States. Hey, the people that own the companies and the organizations, that's fantastic, but without working hands, you don't have anything, right? So what we need to understand is that at some point, this AI is going to create, you're not going to have to work. You're going to have a robot in every home. You're going to, I mean, amazing things are going to happen and going to happen quickly. But we need to be the ones to govern and direct and guide the decisions that are there. And the middle class, when coming together, has the ability to change history, to heal a nation. Because what we need to do is be able to choose people that are looking out for the best of our country and the people of our country. The facts are simple. If the utopia is coming, and it's coming at a quick pace, not only middle Americans or the middle class, the great American middle, I like to call it. What about the aging? Those of us aging. I'm in my 60s, and I've experienced a lot of things in this life, and I've made a lot of mistakes and done some good things, but I had the freedom to do it. And I'm very concerned about my little grandbabies. I mean, what is their life going to look like? What is their ability to make their own decisions going to be? I mean, we want to talk about the school systems. We want to talk about the medical establishment as a whole. And we want to talk about all the things that are connected to the American middle class,
Yes.
or the middle class of the world.
Yeah, and also too, as far as what we believe as citizens of this nation and what we owe ourselves and each other for the future of our country.
Yeah, and that is going to simply be a country that is going to grow and continue on, or is that going to be a country that had a great go for a couple hundred years and then?
And guess what? We don't want to be that. We live in a great nation, freedom of speech, freedom, and we don't want to lose that. And
No.
that's why we have created this show, to come together, to bring people together, to take our power back as middle class, so that we don't lose this beautiful country that we have.
So consider us a source, consider us a place to start watch parties where we can all, having done our research, educate each other. Meaning I need education on, because some of this, I mean, people are lying, straight out lying.
Both parties.
Both parties, yeah. And the problem is, I wouldn't know that if I wasn't watching multiple news media outlets.
Right. We have to keep an open mind, people, so that we can do our own research, do our own due diligence to make proper decisions.
Yeah, we don't need to get up and all up in everybody's Kool-Aid, but we need to talk to our neighbors. We need to ask what did you. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to ask what opinions are about this stuff. We need to be able to not be isolated. That has really moved the issues that we have as a country and as a nation. That is really moving that in a direction of danger, because we are so controllable. We are very controllable, almost like sheep, right? And so what we need to be,
Take our power back.
take our power back,
With knowledge.
yeah. Well, that's the
Knowledge
only
is
way.
power.
It's the only way we're going to have to do it.
And that's where, as Americans, we have so much power that we're not utilizing because of maybe we don't have the knowledge that we should have, and that's where research comes in. If you have the desire,
Hey, we're all
to make a
guilty of
better-
it too.
Yeah, but if we have the desire to make a better world, to make it more fair for everybody, then it's time that we start doing something. And this platform, this is where we're taking it. We're gonna have guest speakers on that's gonna bring their insights and straight talk. on their specialties.
We have a dog.
We're also going to bring more insights into the direction that we want to take this show.
All right, before a couple of our dogs get too rambunctious here, they're sitting outside of the studio and they started to play. That's what this show's about. If we're going to be able to have a utopian world, it's coming, and a little bit of effort here for all of us brings a huge return. There should, for $5 trillion a year, there should never be a person that's a citizen of the United States that isn't living a comfortable life. There is something wrong here. With that,
This is just the beginning stages and the infantile stages, because we're going to grow this platform for the middle class, and we're going to bring back our power.
Yep. So for now, I'm Rod Duff,
And Producer Barbie.
alongside of Producer Barbie, and I'm always excited to have these conversations. Go back on our channel and take a look at it. It's at Rod Duff 1939. That's the YouTube channel. And www.rodduff.com is the website. Have a great day. And you know what? Start saying hi to each other. Just start with that. Start saying hi to each other.
And if you can also send any feedback on maybe topics that you're interested
Absolutely.
in, or issues or concerns that you'd like to speak about, we would love to hear from you so that we could start compiling our next show.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. I don't know how this stream's ended. I'm going to talk because we've messed around with this a couple of times.